again, the two components we were speaking about were the bony structure of your body being the conduit that leads the other person's energy down to the ground. It's not only your support structure, because it's so strong, it's also the support structure for your opponent's energy. The key rule here is you have to be able to lead the energy through your joints. You never lead the energy to your joints. If you lead the energy to your joints, you'll break them down. There's always someone strong enough to just pretty much tear you apart. So the trick of it is to relax in such a way that your joints are loose enough for the energy to translate through them, and yet supported enough so that they won't collapse. There's a little demonstration I can do to make this a little more clearer. I don't want to do this with Kelly because he trains with me, and it's too easy to think there's some kind of collusion there. I was talking to one of the cameramen before we began, and he's done martial arts. So Tom, if you could help me with this demonstration. Yeah. And you've done Kajukembo, it is, right. And you're an instructor.
Right.
You teach. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so that should make things interesting. What I'll do is pretend to be a normal, average person who carries a lot of tension in their head, neck, and shoulders. And Tom, what I'm going to ask you to do is put your right foot forward, if you would, and take a good, strong stance, and put a hand on my elbow and one just here on my wrist. And so there's only two rules. Don't push up. Mm-hmm. There's no one up there. Don't push down. Just push straight into me like you're pushing a wheelbarrow or something. And you can see, you feel probably even now, my shoulder's a little bit tense. Mm-hmm. So I want you to push my shoulder until you move this foot. Yes, good. So, but if I could relax my shoulder and you start to push, you find you have to work a little harder to find my hip. Mm-hmm. If I could relax my hip, start again. Yes, you've found my knee. Mm-hmm. But what if I could relax everything? I'll make this brief. Just go ahead and load me up. Yes, and what you'll see is you'll never find my foot. Mm-hmm. But in addition to this, I can pick this foot up. Push me. And you can't push over a 64-year-old man on one leg.
Right.
Now, and you were really trying, just so the TV understands. And so this is the idea of bringing the energy down. Now, of course, what I was up to in a sort of subterranean way was that Tom push like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Okay. As he's looking for the energy going down this side, I'm subtly leading the energy down through this side. But see, I'm not bracing, push. I'm not bracing. I can actually, if I want, push him back on one leg. So this is the first phase. I can lead Tom's energy down. Now, hard-side martial artists are more difficult to do this with, but in the same instant, the soft tissue sends a pulse vertically back up. So if you would say make two fists, and let's get on the long axis so you don't get hurt, and I'll get over here in the corner and come over a little bit with me. Actually, I think that might hurt you. Just touch my arms, one on each arm. And if you start to push me and load me up, you'll see that I can absorb a lot of this energy. And when I push you back, you're lifted up. Mm-hmm. Now, the key thing that you should feel is the surprise that it's so soft. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like... What can happen, though, is, if you want to do this again with me, is as soon as you touch me, I can send you, and I cheated. I sent a bigger shot than I normally would have, but because you do martial arts. Mm-hmm. And so what you see is you don't get to really land force on me before a huge force comes back at you.
Right.
And I'll do that with you again if you like. Just touch me lightly. Yeah. And you'll see how quickly the force comes back out. You're a great sport to do this with,
Thank
Tom. I'll let you go back to your camera duties. So as you can see, it can happen. The only reason I'm doing these demonstrations is not to impress you, really. I basically don't care. But to impress upon you that these things are possible. And a person like myself, who is not huge, you can see I don't have gigantic muscles or whatever. Tom outweighs me, and he has a bigger frame, and yet I'm tossing around as easy as can be. This is what the internal system is about. And the great mystery is why we don't have more Westerners who can do this, because this is authentic technique. And that's another subject, and I'll address that in another tape, but just to preview a bit, it's a very big subject. We have the Olympics are coming up again in Beijing, so it's extremely relevant. We have Olympic gold medal winners in every sport that you can imagine. We generally win more gold medals than any other country, and we have this Olympic training facility in Boulder and so on and so forth. Why don't we have Americans who can do really good Tai Chi, just as good as the Chinese do it? It can't be because of a lack of genetics or athleticism or effort or any of those things. It's due to a lack of information. It's as plain and simple as that. If you get the correct training, if you get the correct information, you will get the same results. A teacher in our lineage once famously said, belts don't matter, medals don't matter, ceremonies don't matter. All that matters is that you get the correct training. For those who do, their ability is their insignia of rank. It is something that everyone can see and no one can deny.